Hi guys, just a quick video today looking at the server requirements for Dundas BI. Let's talk about some of the key requirements and the different aspects that you might want to consider when sizing your Dundas BI server. Oh, and I'm Jeff, and this is Off the Charts for Jeff. So first thing you need to understand, Dundas BI is a web-based application, meaning the browser is doing most of the rendering of the work, the drawing of the dashboards. So it's not up to the Dundas BI server to handle graphics in really any way. What it's doing is it's serving up requests to all the different users on the browsers depending on what they need from a data standpoint. So it's giving them the structure of what the dashboard is so the browser can draw it, and it's sending the data to go inside of it. That's essentially what it's doing at a high level. And one of the first things you should definitely look at is the article that we've created on server specifications. This can certainly be something that changes as new versions of Dundas BI come out, so even as of me recording this, these requirements may change from time to time. Start with this, but you'll notice that there's three main things we're looking at: CPU, RAM, and hard drive space. Let's go through each of these and discuss what's important about each. We've got the CPU. And this is important. This is probably your most important aspect to consider, considering the better the CPU you can put in here, the more requests that your Dundas BI server can handle. More CPU cores is definitely going to be a good thing because it'll allow you, again, to have more users, and it'll also help if you have any heavy processes that are running. For example, if you're going to be running a data cube and your data cube has to rebuild in memory from time to time while the server's being used. What you can do with multiple CPU cores is have maybe only half of them work to do the rebuilding, while the other half are there to service users as needed. So it is definitely nice to have multiple cores. Again, with CPU, the more you can give it, the better, but we do provide recommendations as well. Moving on to RAM. The RAM requirement that's given, you'll notice, has a very wide range, and you'll find that this is going to be very similar for any BI platform that you look at that has in-memory capability. The reason the RAM varies so much is because if you're using a lot of in-memory storage, then obviously we have to have enough RAM to cover how much data you plan to put in memory. So this can range. I've seen servers that require 35 gigs of RAM. I've seen servers that they wanted to use it so much that required 128 gigs of RAM. So something like this really depends on your usage of this specific in-memory feature. If you're not planning on using in-memory and it's mostly a real-time dashboard, definitely you can go on the lower side with RAM, but it's something to consider. Now, a common question is going to be, well, I have a database and it's got 500 gigs of data in it. Does that mean I need 500 gigs of RAM? Well, no, it doesn't. We don't copy the entire database into memory. Think of the data cube system as creating views. So even though your base system might have 500 gigs, you might only bring in a certain amount to service your dashboards. So it's not going to be a one-to-one thing. Now with hard drive space, it's pretty much the same deal as RAM. You can go with the recommended, unless you have a SQL server running on the same computer that's hosting Dundas BI, and you decide to use the warehousing feature a lot. This can cause obviously more storage taking place as you're warehousing more and more data. But typically most people can get away with just using the recommended amount of hard drive space. It's definitely the less to be considered of the three: CPU, RAM, and memory. Those are the main things to look out for, and really all you need to consider when you're setting up your Dundas BI server. Now if you're about to install Dundas BI for the first time, we do have a great video that walks you through step by step through the entire installer. So I do recommend taking a look at that next, as it'll explain why we're setting up a lot of the things. The installer does have a lot of moving parts to it, so having a full description of everything can certainly be helpful. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.